Last week I ate a vegan ketogenic diet for 5 days. You may have heard of the ketogenic diet or of keto as it is also called, but what exactly is keto? A ketogenic diet is a diet that is very low in carbohydrates. Usually you try to eat less than 50 grams of carbohydrates a day, or less than 5% of your total calorie consumption should come from carbohydrates in a ketogenic diet, and that causes the body to go into a state called ketosis. And when your body is in ketosis, it stops using glucose as its primary fuel because it doesn't get any more glucose, and then it has to switch to fat. And the body starts turning fat into ketones in the liver, and those ketones can then be used as an energy source by the body instead of glucose. As you might imagine, a ketogenic diet can be quite restrictive because it is very low in carbs. That means grains are not allowed, so all things like pasta or bread, quinoa, all this is not allowed. Also starchy vegetables like potato and most root vegetables in general. Then of course sugar, which includes also juices and fruit, also beans, lentils. So everything that is high in carbohydrates should be avoided during a ketogenic diet, and that can be pretty restrictive. So a lot of the traditional keto guys eat tons of meat, tons of eggs, tons of butter, but I usually eat a diet that is mostly plant-based. So during the 5 days where I ate a ketogenic diet, I also ate a vegan diet. A vegan diet in itself can be kind of restrictive, and a ketogenic diet is also a pretty restrictive diet. And if you combine these two, you get a diet that is very restrictive, and it can be difficult to know what to eat. So if you combine a vegan diet and a ketogenic diet, it can become really restrictive. And at that point you might ask yourself, well, why would anybody do that? Well, it turns out that a ketogenic diet actually has quite a few benefits. It's great for weight loss because the body becomes incredibly efficient at burning fat because it uses fat as its primary source of energy, which makes a ketogenic diet a great diet if you want to lose fat. It's also great for improving your cholesterol levels. It's great for your insulin and blood sugar levels. And it's currently being researched for all types of health conditions, from heart disease to cancer to high blood pressure. While in a lot of those areas the results aren't yet completely clear, it seems that a ketogenic diet can have a lot of health benefits. But the main reason why I ate a ketogenic diet was that I was planning to do a 72-hour fast, so I wouldn't eat anything for 72 hours. And in the 5 days leading up to the fasting, I decided to eat a ketogenic diet because it can make the transition to fasting a lot easier. The body is already used to using fat as a primary source of fuel, so the body isn't as shocked that it doesn't get any glucose anymore, which usually can be very uncomfortable when you're fasting. Eating plant-based wasn't that difficult for me because I eat plant-based most of the time already. I already know how to eat a plant-based diet and what I can eat, what I like. But combining it with a ketogenic diet was quite difficult for me because most of my favorite foods are high in carbohydrates. I love pasta, I love lentils and beans, and my usual diet is very high in carbohydrates. So it was a pretty big challenge for me to eat a diet that is vegan and also ketogenic, because I couldn't eat any of the foods like meat and butter and eggs that a lot of keto guys eat a lot of. I really had to struggle to find things that are plant-based but also keto-friendly. There are actually not that many foods that are vegan and keto-friendly. You can eat vegetables, you can eat nuts and seeds, you can eat soy products like tofu, oils like olive oil or coconut oil. You can also eat coconut milk. Coconut milk is also a great food on a vegan keto diet. But there are not that many foods, so finding recipes and bringing some kind of variety into your diet can be very difficult when eating a vegan keto diet. Today is my first day of eating a vegan keto diet, and I just went for a walk outside. It's raining, but it was very nice. And now I'm going to make myself my first vegan keto breakfast. I already prepared some chia pudding by mixing 2 tablespoons of chia seeds with half a cup of coconut milk And yeah, I'm just going to mix that with some almonds, some walnuts, and anything else I can find that is high in fat, high in protein, and keto friendly. When I started out, I was actually pretty confident because I did some research, I looked up recipes, and I thought, oh, that doesn't sound too difficult. I just cut out the pasta, I cut out the bread, and I eat a lot of nuts instead. They are high in protein, they are high in fat and high in calories, so it really shouldn't be that big of a problem. It actually turned out to be a lot harder than I thought. I decided to track my calories and to track my macros so that I could know if I eat enough calories, if I eat enough protein, and especially that I don't eat too much carbs. The main thing you have to watch out for when you're eating a keto diet. Okay, for dinner I made zucchini noodles with a cashew paprika sauce. Yeah, it's my first time trying zucchini noodles and I'm really excited. And it turned out on the first day I actually ate too much carbs. I ate more than 60 grams of carbs. So on my first day of eating a keto diet, I actually didn't eat ketogenic. So I went through all the foods I ate and it turned out cashew seeds actually have a lot more carbs than I thought. On this first day I also didn't eat that many proteins, but at least I did get all the calories I needed, so at least something went right. But on this first day I already learned a ton, and on the next day I adapted. I cut out the cashews and changed them for different nuts and seeds that are lower in carbs, like walnuts and almonds. This whole experience was really a series of trial and error. I made tons of mistakes and I always learned something. I adapted, and so I learned more and more and more until I started getting the hang of it. On the second day, I had a different problem. While I was actually ketogenic, I didn't eat enough calories, especially since I was doing a 3-day fast after eating a ketogenic diet. I wanted to really make sure that I eat enough calories so I don't start losing weight before I'm fasting, because I'm already pretty skinny and I usually really struggle with putting on weight, so I didn't want to lose more weight than necessary during this fast and ketogenic diet. But with these lessons of the first 2 days, I started to figure out what's working for me. What I noticed was that soy products really helped me to get all the protein I need. Another food that was also very helpful in this time was peanut butter. I just put peanut butter pretty much in every meal I ate. I put 1 or 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, which helped both with the proteins but also with the calories. And olive oil. Olive oil was also super helpful in getting healthy fats and getting calories. I just sprinkled some olive oil on pretty much everything I ate, and that really helped me to get enough calories. And around that time, especially on the third day of eating a keto diet, I started experiencing some side effects. I didn't feel very good today. I was pretty tired and had a headache most of the day. So I also wasn't very motivated to make a big lunch and only had a protein shake with pea protein and some peanut butter and some steamed broccoli as a side. I was extremely tired, I had a headache, I felt overall pretty weak, and sometimes I would also feel a little bit dizzy, especially while being outside, for example, going for a walk. I would just feel really weak and get dizzy, and my head would hurt. Some people have it stronger, some people don't have it. But these symptoms, if you have them, usually last about a week, in some cases even a month. Your body just runs out of glucose, and then it really has to struggle to switch from glucose to producing ketones and using fat instead. And this period of transition can be very uncomfortable, and you can experience all these side effects that I had. In some ways, these symptoms are similar to having a flu, so this is also called having the keto flu. But I was actually pretty lucky, because by day 5 my symptoms were very mild. I still was a little bit tired and felt a little bit weak, but overall I had the worst symptoms on day 3, and from then on it just got better. Day 5 of eating keto was actually my last keto day. I finished the day by eating a bowl of chia pudding, which was my last meal before fasting. Then I didn't eat anything for 3 days. I just ate dinner, and this was my last dinner before fasting, so I won't be eating anything for the next 72 hours. I broke my fast, and the next day I started resuming my normal diet. And I have to say, I really learned a lot by eating a keto diet. I learned a lot about my body and about nutrition in general. There's carbs in pretty much everything, especially if you eat plant-based. The nuts and seeds and vegetables, all those things, while they are very low in carbs, they do still have some carbs, and you really have to be careful and track everything, because like it happened to me on the first day with the cashew seeds, it happens so fast that you eat something and you just don't even notice that there are so many carbs in it. And the same goes for the protein. I also thought that protein would be no problem at all, that all the things that are keto friendly tend to also be pretty high in protein. So if I just cut out the carbs and eat like nuts and seeds and peanut butter and all this kind of stuff instead, that I would automatically get all the protein I need. But those plant-based protein sources actually don't have as much protein as I thought. And even if I ate tons of nuts and seeds without adding the soy products, I found it very difficult to eat more than 100 grams of protein per day. Another thing that I noticed and that I didn't expect going in was that after every meal I felt incredibly full. Okay, so I just finished breakfast and I'm really full. Calories wise, it's not really more than my usual breakfast, but it feels a lot more, I think, because it's so much fat. But even if there were some struggles, I found that eating a ketogenic diet while being plant-based is absolutely possible. So if you want to do a fast and prepare for it by eating keto, or if you just want to eat a ketogenic diet for some of the other health benefits from a keto diet, then I can tell you, while it might be a little bit more difficult than a traditional keto diet, it's absolutely possible. I did it, and after a few days of just trying things out, you really start figuring it out. You figure out what works for you. If you also plan on eating a ketogenic diet, or you would like to try eating keto, then I wish you all the best. It can be difficult at times, but it's absolutely doable. It's absolutely possible. You can do it even when eating a plant-based diet. So just go for it, and I wish you all the best, and I hope this video helped you, inspired you, so you can go out and try it for yourself. But one thing I want to mention right now is that you should absolutely do your own research when it comes to your diet. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a dietitian, and I'm not an expert on this. I'm just a guy who tries things out, who makes experiments, and I talk to you about what I did, how I did it, and what it was like for me. But I'm not an expert, and when it comes to your health, you shouldn't just trust everything I say and just look into those things yourself and read the studies, talk to your doctor maybe if you have any health conditions that could be a problem. Make sure to stay safe and don't just blindly trust me. I mentioned that I ate a ketogenic diet to prepare for a 72-hour fast. If you want to know more about fasting and about my experience with not eating for 3 days, I will post this in a separate video, which will probably be online soon. So make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you get notified when it's out. Hit the like button if you like this video, or if you have found it helpful or entertaining. If you still have any open questions, or you just want to talk about your experiences with keto, write all that stuff down in the comment section below, and I would try to respond to every comment as quickly as possible. And that's it from me for today. I hope you liked it, and I see you in the next one.